You've probably heard the word GitHub thrown around in tech circles. Maybe you've seen that kind of weird cat octopus logo and just nodded along wondering, what is that thing? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and figure out what GitHub really is and why it's become the secret blueprint for building pretty much all modern software.
So it all starts with this massive fundamental problem. Think about your favorite app on your phone. It wasn't built by just one person. It was likely built by hundreds, maybe even thousands of developers, all typing away, all working on the same code at the exact same time. So how in the world do they do that without constantly tripping over each other and creating a total digital train wreck? That right there, that is the exact question GitHub was designed to answer.
The simplest way to wrap your head around GitHub is to think of it like Google Drive, but specifically for code, right? On Drive, you share documents. On GitHub, developers share code. But, and this is the important part, GitHub comes with some serious superpowers. It's not just about sharing files, it's about building things together in a really smart, organized way.
So what are these superpowers I'm talking about? Let's break down the core features that make GitHub so essential for developers all over the world. These are the tools that prevent that chaos we were just imagining.
First up is the repository, or what everybody just calls a repo. Now, don't let the technical name fool you. A repo is literally just a project's main folder. That's it. It's the one big container for a single project that holds all of its files and all of its code.
For instance, if you were building, say, an employee attendance system, your repo would hold everything. You'd have your Python files in there, your database files, and super importantly, a README file, which is basically the instruction manual for the whole project.
Okay, this next one, this is an absolute game changer. It's called version control. And honestly, it's like having a time machine for your code. I'm not kidding. GitHub doesn't just save the current version of your project, it remembers every single change ever made. This creates this incredibly detailed history of the entire project, which means you can experiment like crazy because you always know you can go back.
So imagine this timeline, right? On day one, you build a login feature. It works perfectly. A few days later, a teammate adds a new button, and whoops, it accidentally breaks your login. Panic, right? Nope, not with GitHub. Because it remembers everything, you can basically hit a giant undo button for the whole project and, like magic, jump right back to the working version from day one. Problem solved, just like that.
Now, how do you add new stuff without breaking what already works? Well, you use something called a branch. The best way to think of a branch is like a perfect copy of your project. It's like a safe little sandbox. You can go into this sandbox and experiment, build a whole new feature, or try some wild idea without any risk of messing up the main live project.
This creates this super simple, incredibly safe three-step workflow. First, you create a branch. Second, you build and test your new feature in that totally safe space until it's absolutely perfect. And only when you are 100% sure it works do you merge it back into the main project. It's collaboration without the constant fear of breaking things. But how do you actually merge your changes? You don't just force them in. No way. You create what's called a pull request, or PR for short. And this right here is the beating heart of collaboration on GitHub. It's a formal request where you're basically raising your hand and saying, "Hey team, the work I did in this branch is done. Can you all please check it out before we make it official?"
And this is where the real magic happens. A pull request opens up a discussion. Teammates can look at your new code, they can suggest improvements, ask questions, and finally give their stamp of approval. It's a built-in quality control system that makes sure only the best, most reviewed code ever makes it into the final product.
So we've seen the superpowers. Now let's see how they're actually used out in the real world. We're going to look at 3 very different places where GitHub is absolutely essential. For students, for huge companies, and for a global community of volunteers.
We'll start in the world of learning. For a coding student today, this quote pretty much says it all. A well-kept GitHub profile has become way more powerful than a traditional resume. It's a living, breathing showcase of what you can actually do.
So how's that work? Well, students use it to turn in their assignments, sure. But more importantly, they use their public repos as a living portfolio. When they go to apply for jobs, companies don't just read about their skills on a piece of paper. They can go right to their GitHub and see the actual code they've written. It's proof, not just a promise.
Okay, next, let's jump into the corporate world. For a tech company, GitHub isn't just another tool. It's the central nervous system. As this quote puts it, it's the digital headquarters where a company's most valuable asset, its software code, actually lives.
And for a business, this serves 2 absolutely critical functions.
First, it lets developer teams work together seamlessly, whether they're in the same room or on different continents. And second, it's a fortress. It keeps all of that priceless code safe, secure, and backed up, protecting it from any kind of disaster.
And finally, we have the amazing world of open source. This is where software isn't built by a single company, but by a global community of volunteers. It's all driven by the passion you see in this quote, this idea that anyone can help improve the tools they love and use every single day.
And this process just beautifully ties together everything we've learned. Someone, literally anyone, anywhere in the world, can find a bug in a piece of software. They can create their own branch, fix that bug, and then submit a pull request. The project's owner reviews the fix and with a single click accepts it. Just like that, someone from Brazil can help fix software that's being built in Japan. It is global collaboration at its absolute finest.
Okay, we've covered the what and the how, but let's bring it all home. Why should you care about GitHub, even if you're not a developer yourself? What's the big takeaway here?
Here's what you need to remember. GitHub really democratizes software development. It's free for public projects, so it's accessible to literally everyone. It's trusted by the biggest companies in the world. It's a massive help when you're looking for a job, and it keeps your hard work safe. It really touches every single part of the modern tech world.
So if you forget everything else we talked about, just remember this one line. GitHub is a platform where people store code, track changes, and work together to build amazing software. That's it. And I'll leave you with this final thought. GitHub totally revolutionized collaborative work for code. It created a blueprint for thousands of people to build incredibly complex things together safely and efficiently. So the question is, what's next? If this model works so well for software, what will be the GitHub for building, well, everything else?